He got pushed to 7. We have.
Yeah, we have Tom Glynn. KRINGLE.
Yep.
Yes, hello.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you, it would have hurt my feelings a little if you just went like, oh, and just walked right out. I'd be like, oh, shit. Everybody should. It's great. That was the best part of booking it. Looking back, going like,
Excuse me, Tom.
yes, sir.
No sexting during the show.
Yes, and this is
Jesus Christ.
this is PG, by the way. It's not like our show.
Oh, so it's okay. Good to know.
We are live at Tidewater Horror Con. Just a reminder, every panel is brought to you by Toking with the Dead and the Dorkening Podcast Network. And here we go.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, here's the late arrival. He's coming in with cookies.
This is the worst.
We got cookies. You like cookies, Tom?
I made it for cookies.
So we are live now, right?
God damn it.
We're at Tidewater.
We're live. We're at Tidewater
This is
Horror
awkward. We're going.
Convention. It's Jar Jar's show. I just showed up. This is Tom
This
Glynn.
is the epitome of professionalism right here. I just want to say that before anything. Please go ahead.
Please go ahead. Yeah, so we're in Norfolk, Virginia. This is panel number 1, which was supposed to be panel number 2 because panel number
Jeff
1
knows where he
is
is.
going to
That's
be
good.
panel number 2. Yeah, I do right now. Give me a couple hours.
Okay.
You know
It's
what I
going
mean?
to change.
So, yeah, we've got the amazing Tom Glynn.
This is an inside joke because everybody's
Yeah,
like,
it's an inside
what?
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Way
always,
inside.
during our live shows, I really try and screw up people's last names and how do you
You're
mess up
really good at it.
Glynn. But it's spelled with 2 N's, so it became Glynn, right?
Close enough. I mean,
Right?
I've been called way worse than Glynn.
Yeah, I did that, but off camera.
Yeah, but I mean, well before you.
So, you having fun?
I'm having fun, buddy.
Yeah.
Everybody's been great. It's been everything's really run well. It's been super so far.
Cool. So you were in Creepshow.
I was in Creepshow.
That was your big
That's my
breakout,
big
right?
horror. That's my big horror role.
Some
KRIS KRINGLE.
creepy freaking.
I swear to
Santa
God,
Claus,
if you steal
dude.
my first question, I'm coming over.
Don't hit
there.
me with the mic. Go ahead.
Well, then let's hear their first
I
question.
I did work. These guys just go off the cuff.
Oh, I'm well aware.
I did work.
We're old pals, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. I could see the conversation
There's a
just
camaraderie.
flowing. All right, so the process of Creepshow. I saw you going there. What was how'd you get the role first of all, and then the makeup stuff? I want to know
The
that.
strangest part about booking Creepshow was COVID actually worked in my favor. They were going to
You're
film
the
that
first
episode.
person I've ever heard say that.
COVID was good to me in multiple weird senses. But the show was already booked. I cannot for the life. I literally am going to text Greg and ask, like, all right, who was originally booked? They were going to film the show, but COVID happened. They had to shut everything down. So we were to my understanding, one of the very first shows to start trying to film post-COVID. Like, so the testing was super rigorous. Everybody's wearing masks. They're using like a skeleton crew. Like we can only have so many people in the room. It was a big deal. Like they basically said, no,
That's the process here too.
There was-
Only so many
oh
people
God,
are
but they
allowed.
literally said, no pressure. But what's going to happen is if this works out, we can start back filming The Walking Dead. I'm like, oh, super. So
It's
I don't want to
all
be the
on
guy
your
that's
shoulders.
like, oh, I'm sorry. I shut that down for all of you. My bad. But-
Smoker's cough.
What's that?
It's a smoker's cough. That's what I always told.
Oh yeah,
That's actually brilliant.
smoker's cough. Got it.
Right?
But what happened was when they started back, the person who originally booked it was in Canada and they couldn't get back. So they actually put out just like a regular, audition for it. I got submitted for it. I auditioned just like a regular. I did something. They specifically said, don't use costumes. I was like, well, I've got a great Santa costume. Screw it. I'm going to wear it in the audition. And I had long hair at the time. It was kind of just hanging down. And I was very theatrical with it because it is kind of an over the top production. So I'm like, you're on my list, that kind of thing. And then my agent calls me. She's like, I need to tell you something. I'm like, oh yeah, I got your email. She's like, that's great, but that's not what it is. You booked Creepshow. And I'm old enough. I loved the original movie. So I was just thrilled about it. Then I get there and I know, and Greg's the director, Greg Nicotero, who's famous from The Walking Dead. And if you're into prosthetics, the man's a legend in the industry and just couldn't have been a nicer dude. The makeup guys were all the people from The Walking Dead. So the first day, they're just doing art. I'm sitting there looking in the mirror like, holy cow. Like,
How long?
first day probably took 2 hours to do the mask. And then the beard and the hair. I want to say probably an hour to actually get me in the costume because, and here, fun fact, and you guys heard this, I'm not a small guy. I'm about 220.
I could take you.
I would kill you, but that's not the point.
I know.
I don't want to be like that, but I'd kill you.
Yeah,
but
to 7-Eleven. That's right. I'm taking you to 7-Eleven.
take me to 7-Eleven. But whoever was originally booked was not 220 pounds. They literally, and I wish there's a nice, they lubed me up with KY jelly and shoved me in that outfit every day. Like, I'm just being honest. When we finished every day and I came out of the costume, I literally just went, I'm disgusting. I'm going home. Well, I just was like, I just walk out like this. But it all worked out great. But I think the first day it was probably 3 hours total. Maybe a little longer by the last day.
What are you like doing during because I have ADD like a madman. Like
I
they
do
have,
too,
like-
but I can zone out. I just kind of okay. And Gina, who did my makeup, was such a pro, and everybody, and they took such good care of me because it is a hot costume. So they're
I
hey
can
buddy, need any
imagine.
water?
Yeah.
You need anything?
Yeah,
Can we get you anything? They had
Even
a
just
cooling
that
vest.
beard must have been like
This wasn't so bad, but the outfit, it's very, again, it was made for somebody smaller. Okay, I blew out the crotch day one. Like there's a scene where I'm standing there like, I went, I was like, oh,
he is married, by the way.
she's very understanding.
Typical story there.
But no, literally, I'm like, the first time I walk on set, I go, arr, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's like
I walk back. No, if you really look closely, they basically said, screw it. They gave me these long red underwear to wear under the costumes. Like, if you pop, just pop. And there's a scene where I'm standing there and the camera angles to make me look tall and it's looking up. Yeah, my crotch is blown out in the costume. And I'm just like, please don't move. Please.
It probably added to the effect of the costume, though.
I would like to think so, but
Yeah, that's where you were going with that one.
that's where I was going with that one.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right, right.
That was good.
So, KY jelly, really?
Yeah, no, like
Did
straight
they stand the suit up and you jump off a step ladder into it?
damn near.
I
I'm
bet.
not exaggerating. It was murder getting in that suit.
That's gotta be
and
nice.
it did limit my motion because somebody said
how many days do you have to wear it? Like,
it wasn't that long a shoot. I think I was on set for 5 days. Then we did pickup shots, and then I put the
that's gotta
suit
get
back
funky
on.
after a couple.
They were good about cleaning
Oh,
everything.
okay.
Like, and every day is like, we got you clean, you red long underwear, thanks. But every day I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going home and just stand in the shower for like an hour.
Now, did it stretch out after the
Mm.
first time?
Nope.
No.
Snaps right back.
Like
in the
it was very
Snap
true.
right
Like
back.
there's like you can honestly tell with some of my movements, they wanted me to look a little herky jerky,
Yep.
but it's because I couldn't like. That's probably it. If you asked me to like fully extend my arms, I couldn't do it.
That's
No.
like what was that movie Tommy Boy putting on the other dude's jacket?
I'm assuming
I could have
since-
ripped that outfit
Oh, yeah.
anytime.
since it was during COVID, probably a little bit strict on set, but any kind of shenanigans going on?
No, it was pretty-
goofballing?
It was pretty serious. And one,
Yeah.
if there were, I was so hot in that outfit. I basically was sitting in this little thing by myself, hooked up to a cooling unit. So I'm like, people to come. I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Just like, ugh. Like there, and God, I forgot his name. There's a little guest star. God, I can't remember the guy's name. There was a rapper that came on the show, and and they were like, so and so wants to meet you. I kept calling him Little Yahtzee, and I was like, I know I'm not saying this. It's Yachty or Yachty.
Oh, Yachty.
Little
I
Yachty.
think-
And
I-
real nice guy. And I'm just
think-
like, I just kept thinking his name was Yahtzee. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but hey, how's it going?
How you doing, little Yahtzee?
I called him Little Yahtzee. I guess he was just like, whatever.
That's funny.
He was a nice guy. Everybody was super.
Old guy can't get my name right. It's okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Later on, I'm like, oh, he's pretty well known.
So you also do a ton of stunts.
Here's what I tell people. I'm an actor that can do stunts.
Yeah.
I am not a stunt man who acts, because I've got friends and a lot of them do well at it. They're stunt men, and that's their foot in the door into acting. And some are doing great at it. I know that's just how they get their foot in the door and they get on set and they are comfortable doing stuff. I do a lot of fight choreography because of my background.
Mhm.
I'm comfortable taking certain bumps. Like I can go through a table or whatever, but I got friends, they'll jump off a building. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah. No,
What-
I'm not
Any
that.
of them that made you go, yeah, I'm not doing that again?
It hasn't happened. Not really.
No?
I just shot
Picking the
something for
good ones,
Disney
then.
Plus, National Treasure. And again, it's just a little small
You're
part.
doing
It was cool. Everybody was super cool. It was great. But I'm playing this Texas Ranger, and the idea is they tranquilize me and I faint. Like they dart me or like stab me with a syringe. And I kind of just fall back. And they've got this sidewalk. Tom, it's not really a sidewalk. It's just this padding. It didn't feel like padding.
Felt like cement.
And I counted, we did 27 takes, and about like around 20. And I know how to fall, you do a break fall.
Mhm.
But yeah, at the end of that day, I was like, okay, I can tell I did something. It's not that bad, but because again, you have to know, as stupid as it
yeah.
sounds, how to fall.
Right.
But yeah, it was
So I gotta
that one was one I'd be like, could we make sure that we all understand about can we put a pad in there if the camera's not going to catch that?
So what I'm wondering is, you have like friends and family and stuff like that ask you to put this outfit on at Christmas time and like give out presents to kids.
This
Oh,
is the thing I
man.
have to explain to people, because people always go like, can you wear the costume? No, they didn't give it to me. Like that thing costs thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah,
like yeah. But people just like, can you come in costume? I'm like, no, I didn't get it. I guess I could put on a Santa outfit, but then it'd be like, who the hell are you? Because the one I've got is like this weird biker Santa outfit with a long red trench coat.
Right.
And that's what I auditioned in. And, like for Halloween, my kids think it's awesome. But yeah, no, I don't. Like some guys will you can do photos in costume. I'm like, well, I don't have
the costume.
They didn't. They were nice to me, but they didn't go, here's this several $1,000s of stuff. Here you go.
Yeah, they'll be in a museum someday.
I don't know what they did. They were very particular about it.
Mm.
It was great because I'm sitting there in the prop room, just looking around. I'm seeing all the stuff from the whole season. So it's like, I got to go, oh, okay, and Greg's really big when he can on practical effects. Like the werewolf in that episode is really a 10-foot werewolf puppet.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
When they did the next episode with the giant rat, or something in it, there's really a giant rat head that looks real that's this tall. Like, it's not a bunch of CGI. Greg's really, I love those
That's
practical
really cool.
effects.
That must make it easier on the actors too, where like
It
you
makes it a
have
lot
that
easier.
it's there
Because
for
I've
you.
done a couple of things where it's like there's this giant green screen. I'm like, all right, so what are we
React
doing
to
again?
what?
Yeah, I mean, like, you have to be a really
A
good
robot's
actor.
coming after you. Run.
As silly as it sounds, I respect people who do the genre because it's hard to stay in character. You're like, all right, this guy's attacking you, and it's somebody wearing a helmet with all these pixels on it. And you're like, oh yeah, it's an 8-foot guy. No, it's a guy
It's
wearing
Tom.
a stupid dummy head on his, and you have to keep a straight face with it. That actually takes talent. I'm impressed when people just go, oh, it's just a superhero movie. I'm like, those people work. It's
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I said this to you before.
obviously.
A lot of people, Tom Cruise got in trouble years ago about saying, oh, when you making a movie like going to war, and people who actually been to war are like, really? You know, I'm missing a leg, so I find that kind of offensive, which you should. But I get what he says. It's not that glamorous.
Oh,
Like,
you
it's
go in there and you work.
like when you're filming, you're wearing prosthetics, and it's Atlanta in the summer. That's not glamorous. It's like you're like, this is the hardest job I've ever
It's
had.
almost on the edge of abuse.
I've seen a couple of jobs. I won't name them, but I've been in a couple
Yeah.
movies. I'm like, this cannot be legal.
if,
Like, if somebody called the union, there's no way in hell this should happen.
if anyone has a question, you are allowed to ask them. Just yell them out.
I love the way you had to say
So
like,
throw 'em
we,
on.
we do have one.
And yeah,
course
we,
you.
Go ahead, Leo.
yeah, we do have some questions
of
and
God
comments. So Chris Harris says, can't wait till tomorrow. Sounds like he's going to be going to Tidewater, and I'm assuming going to see Tom. And Sean Curtis, being a horror fan, what are your thoughts on the new Halloween and also Hellraiser now being a female?
I'm cool with both of them. I like the new Halloweens. I'm old enough that I'm more biased towards the older stuff, which is ironic because I'm on the reboot of Creepshow, but I like the older genre. Like, my favorite movies are the older ones. So I love the fact Jamie Lee Curtis is still, I don't know why I'm looking up like you're listening to me through this, but I love the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is involved because, you know, she's been a part of the franchise back at the beginning. My favorite Halloweens are the original ones, the older ones.
Mhm.
You know, I like this new trilogy, but I like the older stuff best. Pinhead, I won't be able to answer until I see it. I don't care that they're trying to try different things. If you read the books, and you know,
It's an androgynous.
Pinhead, well, they didn't even call him Pinhead. It was like
Yeah.
leads Hell Priest.
Yeah.
Was androgynous, so it's not really that
And
big a
has a
stretch from
female
the original
voice.
material. Yeah, a very high pitched
Yeah.
voice. But I love Doug Bradley so much in that part. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to see somebody
I have
do
to
it
agree.
to be okay. I can't just make a judgment call until I see it. But I'm a huge Doug Bradley fan. I think he just did that part so wonderfully. You know, if you don't like the original Hellraisers, you just don't tell me that.
Oh no, those are awesome.
They were just
What'd you think about the
amazing.
Rob Zombie Halloweens?
I love them. I'm biased because one, and I know that's kind of controversial because a lot of people do not like them. For some reason, I keep meeting people. Who were
I
in
loved them. I thought they were
loved them.
fantastic.
We have a question out here in the crowd.
Yes,
You say you like those older type of movies. Did you have that sort of shoes to fill like feeling when you were making the Creepshow?
honestly, not so much. I will say that Greg was real clear about what he wanted, so I just basically tried to fulfill like his vision of it, and he told me what he wanted Kringle to be. Because some of the stuff I had my kind of idea. He's like, I want it more, and he was very like physical with it. I want you to make these big motions like you're this big monster. I would have probably played it down a little bit, which wouldn't have worked on that genre. It would, the way if I had done it the way I would as an actor, it wouldn't have worked. It needed to be more theatrical. It needed to be, you know, you're on my list. What's your name, little girl? You know, versus I would have done it more like a threatening, like, what's your name, little girl? Like, I would have probably played it too straight, like a typical bad guy. I did a kids film, and looking back, I played it like I was a bad guy. But I wish, looking back, I'd played it more like a zoinks bad guy, as opposed to like, you know,
That was pretty
Like,
good.
you know.
You want to do voiceover
I keep getting asked that. Not really. I just
No?
I really enjoy what I
for
do.
National Treasure? Did you have to put on a more Southern accent, like picking it up?
Not I had to lose what I've got. I'm quite literally a cowboy.
No,
I grew
I
up on a
know.
farm, so not
Alabama.
really. You know, it's not, you know. Sorry, ladies.
know where you
Reenactment
live.
starts outside in the corner, Alamo and Houston Street. The battle doesn't breach the walls till after the siege. That I don't know why I remember the lines, but that's them. And then I get a dart and I drop down.
Part over.
We had a comment.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones steps over me, which was funny.
Oh, on
She
that,
was, she was very sweet.
anybody you geeked out while working with, like you were like, oh my god, I'm like, I know you've worked out with Dean Cain, like, or worked with Dean.
Dean's
Cain.
cool. He's just a really nice guy. Super
I mean,
nice
he's
guy.
Superman. Like, if you guys
Honestly,
know.
the closest I'd say was probably the first name, because my first feature film was with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. I'm old enough that I know he was one of the biggest action stars in the world. And I'm sitting there trying to be like, you know, cool about it. I'm, you know, because my whole thing is I want to be a professional. I don't ask to take selfies with it. Like, can I get a picture with you? I'm such a big fan. No, I try to come in, do my job, be a professional, and go home. You know, I try to do what I'm there to do. But I will say that was when I saw him walk in, I'm like, okay, be cool, be cool. He's like, it's funny to me. I didn't get, like, when he walks in, he makes a point. He's, you know, I'm JC, and well, we know who you are.
Yeah,
I was
right.
probably, you know, talking to somebody. I didn't get to speak to him. So the whole time after the scene, I'm going like, when this is over, I'm gonna go talk to him. Just, I don't care if I get fired. I'm gonna go say hi to Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I'm like one of the henchmen bad guys, and the whole thing, I'm literally just doing this the whole time.
See, you too can be actors. Look at that, people.
And I'm just kind of making faces, like, you know.
Where's the applause?
Oh, thank you. That was nice. You could have done it several times instead of those chirping silence I had. But I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of looking at the other henchmen like, who's this guy? And when the scene's over, I start to walk up. I'm going to speak to this guy. He jumps up, runs up, and he goes, I love what you did back there. And for 1 second, I was like, is this guy messing with me? Like, I genuinely thought he was just effing with me. I thought he was I was like genuinely like, am I going to get fired the first day because I slapped Jean-Claude Van Damme? Because I was genuinely offended. Like, I thought he was making fun of me. And he's like, he was dead ass serious. He was like, I saw you making the face, you making the emotion. I fed off your emotion. It's beautiful. And the guy kisses me on both cheeks. I'm like, oh, this was weird, but okay. So I'm like kind of hugging him as best as I know how to do it. I'm like, okay, merci beaucoup. I don't know. And he was just an absolute sweetheart to me the whole time. He's like, Tom, you want to come sit in my trailer? I'm like, shit, yeah. I have a picture with him. And again, my whole rule about I don't ask to take pictures of people. He's standing there like taking pictures with folks. Tom, come, you want to get a picture? I'm like,
Hell yeah.
and he was just, we actually stayed in touch for, I was in touch with his son for years. His son's
Didn't you do a test reel with him or something like that? I found something on YouTube, or is that the scene that you did with him? It's like kind of like a, I think he kicks your ass or something.
oh, he kills me. Yeah, he kills me.
Yeah, like
He stabs me in the neck.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was that scene. Okay,
Which was,
I got
they had
watch
to edit.
Jean-Claude
I'm gonna be
Van
honest, I'm
Damme
gonna throw
kick
myself
your
under
ass.
the bus. They
Pretty
edited
good.
it because luckily I'm wearing black, so you couldn't tell the blood got messed up. I genuinely didn't hear when they said action the first time, and I've got this squib where it says blood shooting out, and like action, and blood's just shooting. I'm just like,
La-di-da.
yeah. And you hear the director go, son of a bitch. And I'm like, oh God. I had to walk up to like, dude, I just didn't hear. I'm so sorry. He's like, Tom, we're going to fix it in post. Don't worry about it. Fix it in post is the best sentence ever. Because no matter what you can screw up just about anything and you can fix it in post.
Yeah, it's called cut.
Yeah, pretty
Cut
much.
it out.
And they did. And they edited up where, you know,
Yep.
It's interesting when you get to sit on the other side because I'm friends with directors and producers now. So I sit and watch the dailies and watch the director go, yeah, we're gonna clean that up, and it's like, dude, how did you make that make sense? It's an art. It really is.
It is. Yep, it is. Did you? Have,
We had a couple comments come in. Kristen is giving a peace sign. Joe Payne says Van Damme is a badass. And Joe's also asking, or he states, I'm not a fan of reboots. I do love the new Halloween, but the reboot of Creepshow is my absolute favorite reboot yet.
Oh,
Well, thank you very
I
much.
thought we were going the other way.
I thought he was going to. I thought he was
I
going to
was
be like,
oh,
"It's a piece
Christ,
of garbage,"
man.
and I hope you never work
Oh,
again.
Here, have a cookie, Tom. Hurry.
Can you fix that? But no, I'm very biased, and Greg's put his touch on it. I think it's great, but obviously I'm going to be biased about it. But I love the new Creepshow. I've watched every episode. I think they're great. I think like some are better than others. This is awful. I can't even say that my episode's not my favorite. I love the one with the werewolves killing the Nazis. I can't remember the name of it. It's the first episode, and I think that's just. And I know the guy who's the lead, so I'm slightly biased. But I love the fact they were able to take that and bring it to a different age, because a lot of people would have missed out on the Creepshow idea. And I think those are such. I can still right now, if somebody turns on the original Creepshow movie, I'm like, I'm cool. I'll sit and watch that thing with no problem. There's several movies like that.
Speaking of werewolves, is the werewolf movie that I heard that might be made, are we getting any progress?
We are that. I don't think that's going to happen. The script is great. Look at this.
Hey, look at this guy. You want to
Really?
do the show?
Really?
Asking if anybody had questions. Very shy.
Really? Okay. The quick answer is, honestly, I don't think that werewolf movie is going to happen. I hope it does. The script is great. I think it's just, the second you hear a producer, and especially an indie film, well, we've got to work out some stuff with the funding. You go, believe it when I see it.
Yep.
Now, since you were talking when they're great,
Yeah.
I blame this on
it's
you.
Ben.
But
they paid to come here. They can do what they want.
yeah, well, let's not push that.
Well, yeah.
I get hit with a brick. I'm like, thanks.
He said.
so what do you have in the future? Any, what do you got coming up?
Honestly, right now,
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of auditions, a couple of appearances. As far as I am booked for this movie, this is the actor's life. I don't have anything lined up right now.
I heard you're pretty happy with that, though.
I've got a great
Not
life.
happy, but like
I'm very philosophical about it, because I'm at a
Enjoying.
point. If you look at everybody who says I'm an actor, just people are trying just to have an agent, or just be like, I just want to do background. When I think of it if I just keep myself humbled about it, I don't know, this is going to sound great. I've done better than 95% of my colleagues. I get to do things and travel, and I've booked some stuff, and I've got agents in all the major markets, and I do pretty well. Having said that, you always want, this is the part of acting that I always get kind of serious about. Even if you love it, you'd be shocked how many really famous people, if you ask them, so what you got lined up? Nothing right now.
Yeah, nothing right now.
It's not steady. It's frighteningly unsteady. Like if it was, Tom, your whole family has to live off this, I'd be nervous, because there's no, even let's say you book a series, you're like, I'm a regular in this series, I got a regular job. All right, they kill you off next week.
Right. Oh, sorry.
You'd be
You're dead.
surprised. You'd be surprised how many people, like names, have told me, like, yeah, I don't have anything lined up.
Sean Bean, Game of Thrones, everything that dude's on, he gets killed off within like a few minutes. It's just like, dude.
And it's really nice to see somebody go through that and then start doing well.
Oh yeah.
And God, I cannot think of his name. The Asian gentleman that died in Walking Dead.
Oh, he plays on
thank you.
Chew.
Yeah.
Or not Chew. He was going to do the voice for Chew, but he's on.
Thank you.
Invincible.
I'm sorry. Again, I've met Steve. I've met him several times, and the problem is with this. After The Walking Dead, there was a good. He's doing great now, but there was about a year or two, like you would literally go, "What are you doing?" I got no go. Like he's going to auditions for stuff he shouldn't be at. Like he should have just gone, "We want to hire you for this." Like he was reading for stuff just like the actors, up the street. It was like. It's just shocking if you ever think everybody's like, "Oh, this is so glamorous
on TV."
It is. There's long stretches of I got nothing going on, and you would be surprised at the people who, like big name people who don't just have like, oh, I got this lined up and this lined up and this lined up. Not always.
Well,
It keeps you humble though. So
well, it should, and I can't remember who it was who was telling us that they would rather. It was Eric Roberts. He would rather
Eric.
play. I mean, he's got like 700 acting credits. I mean,
He-
it's insane. But
he will. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Well, basically, what he said is, he loves his acting life because he didn't get that big famous role where everybody associates you with that one character.
Yeah.
Because then you're done. Because every time you go to do something else, your audience just views you as, well, you were that dude.
You
How
know, they
can
say
you be
they
something
make the
else?
joke about the hardest working man in showbiz. It might be him. I've met him. A friend is a strong word, but he's very much a friend of a friend.
Yep.
And he, at any given time, will be working on 2 or 3 projects simultaneously.
2 or 3. When we had him on our show, he was 17 in production.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, like, I'm going to be on this set, which I can't even fathom trying to know lines. Like, I'm going to be a doctor on Tuesday, then I'm a mob boss on Wednesday,
Right.
then I'm a
captain
widow
on a
on
submarine.
Thursday.
Right.
And he
right.
and like he
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah, he
I
can do
was watching him on this the Righteous Brother, some show about like
Gemstones.
yeah, Righteous Gemstones. He's like a mob boss, like a southern mob boss.
Yeah.
So like it was hilarious. He was great.
He's a great actor.
and each character is different with him.
Again, he's very talented. I can't even fathom, because I've had jobs lined up where it's like, all right, I've got to know these lines, and then immediately go into something else where it's like, all right, you're going to be this character, and I like, all right, I'm not going to start learning those lines until I'm finished with this, because I don't want to be sitting on one set and then
Right.
And I've had that happen where I'm actually, all right, we're about to shoot this scene, and for some reason, the lines from something I shot in 2017 are stuck in my head, and I'm like,
Oh,
okay, why is this coming back now? And my brain just does this weird. I'm like, shut up. No, you're not shooting one of the X-Men.
There's Tom
Shut
in the
up.
corner.
Pretty much. Like we talked about earlier, that whole ADHD thing. Sometimes I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing right now?
I get lost in my I'm just like, what? He was talking. Oh crap. Was I supposed to be listening? Did he say
Be polite, but yes.
no.
We did have another question from the interwebs. So Joe Payne, I love his icon, by the way. It's the 8-bit Jason. He's asking, other than Creepshow, if you could be involved in any popular horror franchise, which would it be?
I'm tough at questions like this because it's like, how long do you have for me to think about it?
You got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I didn't think we had that much. God, I don't know. I would, off the top of my head, I don't think I'd be a good fit for it, but I love the Hellraiser genre. I would love to book something like that. But having said that, I don't know that I'm a good fit for it. But I just
All of
love
a
those
sudden,
movies so
Pinhead
much.
Works out. Comes in.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I think of a Cenobite, I think of something scary but graceful and
They're
either weirdly erotic, and it's just. And then I like big
or
ape,
grotesquely, out of
rock
there.
monster.
Well, it sounds like a joke. It really is what they say about film adds 10 pounds to you. I've seen that Johnny and Clyde movie that's coming out with Megan Fox. I've seen the dailies, and they've got me in this weird security guard. I'm wearing a turtleneck and a jacket, and I look like a damn ape. Like even I was like, okay, maybe I need to just up that cardio a bit because I look. I mean, I look like I have no neck.
Wow. So I think we're almost out of time.
Oh.
Any other questions last minute
You
here?
ever play Mary F. Kill?
Oh, you got a last minute question here.
Ever play Mary F. Kill? I figured we're at a horror con. Mary
Give
F.
me 3. Go ahead.
All right, we got Tiffany Valentine from Chucky, Carrie White from Carrie, of course, and Baby Firefly from The Devil's Rejects. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. Come on, tough questions.
Oh my God, that's the worst thing. Well, I'd kill Baby Firefly because I don't want to die.
That's torture.
I'd say I'd marry Carrie just because I think we could let's
If you
work
were nice,
everything out.
As long as everything, therapy.
Don't anybody throw blood on her. She'd probably been a very nice person to date.
And
I guess I left.
yeah, wow,
Yeah,
dolls,
that
huh?
would make sense.
That's interesting.
I guess. I mean, that's where I'm stuck with. That's
Well,
what I
you
got
heard
go
it
with.
here first, people. Tom Glynn is into dolls. So
That's
come
not
on
the way I
down to
wanted to end this, but
Tidewater
thank you
Horror
very much.
Convention.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this panel up. Thank
Thanks
you,
for having
Tom.
us.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. For all you out there, get your butts down here. We're here all weekend long. We'll be running the panels. 7 o'clock is
AJ Stone.
AJ Stone. Yes.
Yeah,
So he will be here at 7. We'll be
I'm the
interviewing,
worst
chatting
person
with
to
him.
ask questions to. I have no idea.
That was a test because we
I-
flipped it. Remember? I wanted to see what your memory stance was like.
Yeah, to be fair, they did flip it around. I was just like,
So even if you got it
okay.
wrong, you would have been all right. He would-
We're not doing
oh no,
that.
well, we got Tom coming on. No,
No,
he's
no.
right here. So thank you, everybody. We're gonna kill this stream. Thank you very much, Tom.
Oh, that was no
Looking
problem,
forward to hanging with you all weekend long.